We are New Jazz Underground. We're going to play an original tune of mine. This is entitled The Pseudo Latin Vibe. That's Abdias Armenteros on the saxophone. TJ Reddick on the drums. I'm Sebastian Rios on the bass. Thank you so much.
How do you guys know each other? What's the backstory?
We are all Floridians.
Yeah.
Me and Sebastian are from Miami. Sebastian and I are from Miami. And TJ is from Jacksonville. We all went to the Juilliard school. Yeah. And that's where we all met and started playing in different ensembles together. Once COVID hit and there was no more gigs, we had to find ways to make money. So we would just busk on the streets. And this configuration, we busked a couple times, and we were like, man, we sound pretty good. We got a vibe. We should take each other seriously.
All right, I'll ask you guys more questions later, but cool. You gonna do another song?
Yeah. We're going to play an original composition of mine entitled Sidetracked. Hope you guys enjoy.
What's the most important instrument in jazz?
Between drums and piano. No, drums and bass, actually, yeah. Because bass is the foundation. This is it right here. I can just float on top and do whatever I want. I'm chilling.
Expand on that a little bit more.
They're the foundation. They provide rhythm and harmonic foundation. He's playing the roots of he's mostly playing the roots of every chord. And while, playing constant time, and so is TJ. But TJ's also interacting with me, maybe on a rhythmic level. Sebastian could be interacting with me too on a harmonic. Maybe I do something else, like I play a different chord quality or something. It catches, it's kind of on him to like catch it and make it pretty, instead of it being like a mistake.
Can you pass him the mic, TJ?
Oh yeah, sure.
What do you agree?
Going off of that, I kind of have a relation to maybe food in a certain instance. So he might be like the dish at its basis. So you got your meat, you got your rice, potatoes, whatever it be. So and then how I look at it is I provide the rhythm, and I equate that to like seasoning. So you have like salt, pepper, garlic, or whatever kind of onion powder you might want to do with that. So if you could like play just the beginning of a soundtrack. That's just the foundation, and then from there, you may add a little bit. Some people might like a little more salt. Some people might like a little more whatever, a little less salt. But that's the foundation, and then and that's like up to my discretion as the drummer. From there, he just kind of does whatever he wills, Pretty much it's like he's the only one that's really kind of holding down the fort. I mean, me too, but pretty much it's just him holding down the fort.
What's next?
We're going to play a classic by the great Duke Ellington. This is entitled All Too Soon.
guys play like at clubs and stuff, what's the mix of what you're playing? Is it a lot of original stuff? Is it a lot of like playing traditional? Like, how do you decide what to play in a set?
We play mostly original stuff. We compose a lot. As musicians and as just music fans, we have all these desires. What if this was like this? What if this mixed with that? What if music sounded like this? What if they did this? You have all these like itches in the back of your brain, and the only way that you can kind of scratch is by composing and by making stuff. So that I would say that comprises probably 80 to 90% of our repertoire on a given show. And then we play, like the last song we played, All Too Soon by Duke Ellington. We play a lot of American songbook standards, stuff that's in the jazz canon. That probably constitutes maybe 5 to 10%, but that's really where we're coming from a traditional sense. Us, we're Gen Z. We don't view music in terms of, oh, this is the right way to play it, this is the wrong way to play it. We just like everything. We grew up, as jazz musicians, we grew up listening to people like Duke Ellington, Thelonious Monk, Miles Davis, but people who are as like equally as important to us are like Kendrick Lamar and, MF Doom, all these different, Playboy Carti is like huge. We love this guy called McGee. We're obsessed.
You have a record over there. How do you think about like recording something? I'm not a musician. I'm not a jazz musician, but I would imagine like putting something down on a recording, especially in jazz, is so different from the act of just playing it free and loose and changing it up every time.
Recording is a world of its own, to be like in one space for 6 hours or something, 8 hours, and trying to be in a creative space for all that time to keep it up. Sometimes you overcompensate. You like think you can add everything. Like, oh, we should add this. We had a session one time where we were like, what if we added this? Or what if we added this? And what if we added this? And it made the track sound so bad. And we were like, yo, we just wasted like 2 hours layering all this stuff that like we thought would sound cool, and it's like not. But it's just nice also to try things. And it's like, I feel like part of our DNA of what we do live, like also, which is like trying things, taking risks. It might not necessarily work, but you'll never know unless you try.
Like a lot of musicians are like self-hating, like at least jazz musicians, they're very like, oh, I suck, all this kind of stuff. We're not like that at all. So when we play live, it's like, we get to just be totally free. But in the studio, it's a lot more like, okay, we need to record these things. It needs to come out like this. It's going to be this long, And
we only have 6 hours. We paid money for it. Like, we gotta.
The pressure is on. The pressure is on to perform in a certain way. Like if we mess up on a live show, I could care less. But when it's on wax, everything's amplified, and you go, oh wow, I don't sound good there. That's why I love playing live, because it's just like, all right, let's just play. It's more about communicating.